Reddit, what is the fastest way you've seen a room full of happy people turn real ugly and sour? What happened? During bar trivia the question was what was the biggest fish. In Finding Nemo the answer was blue whale. Whales aren't fish. People started yelling at the guy that whales are mammals. They said it was in the water, so it counted as a fish. I asked if the dentist was a fish, since he was in the water. That Applebee's just barely avoided a riot that night. People don't play around with bar trivia. One day at work we had an hour meeting followed by a planned pizza party as a reward for meeting some safety goal. They'd been telling us all week not to worry about food because they were getting pizza. Well, after the meeting we're sitting around waiting for the pizza to get there when our boss comes in and tells us there was a failure of communication and no one actually ordered the pizza. If you want to see 50 factory workers go from excited to murder ready in less than a second, that's what you tell them. Please tell me someone eventually got you guys some pizza. The next day, my extended family had a day at the lake. All day was nothing but happiness until we started cleaning up. Half of the family were on the lake and decided to play a prank on the rest of us who were getting ready to go. They sent a voicemail that they were sinking and didn't have life jackets. There were kids on the boat who couldn't swim. My grandpa believed it, and when none of the nearby boat owners would let him borrow one to save his family, he stole a boat and went out to look for them. He of course found them safe and sound, and there was a huge fist fight when everyone got back. Some of them haven't spoken to each other since, and it's been years. Who the hell thinks telling someone their family is dying is a prank? They announced that in another 30 minutes there would be another announcement about the status of our delayed flight. Edit. I'm so sorry for all you poor souls who have dealt with long delays. My heart goes out to you. And yes, technically this doesn't fit because some people were already unhappy, but this was the tipping point for most at the airport that day. I was waiting for a flight at Newark when an airline employee gets on the PA of the gate next to mine and says, "Dear passengers, flight 2 has been delayed due to a pigeon entering the aircraft during the maintenance process." So I thought, okay, a pigeon got sucked into the engine or something. Serious stuff. But then the announcement continued. The pigeon entered the cabin through an open door while the aircraft was being cleaned. Our crew attempted to find it, but could not. United Airlines was being outsmarted by the dumbest of birds. This guy clearly knew that the passengers were not impressed. We don't expect your understanding, but your patience would be appreciated. Pub quiz. Everyone was a bit boozed up. Announcer, who was universally hated and considered a massive bellend by everyone, made the controversial call to disallow a debatably correct answer. The answer given by everyone was Jessica Ennis, the Olympic athlete from England. But she had gotten married 2 weeks before the quiz, and so her official name was Jessica Ennis Hill, which was the only accepted answer. 2 teams actually walked out after shouting abuse at the guy running the quiz, and everyone else put. The people that answered Ennis Hill are the ones that Google the answers. Brazilians watching the World Cup. I was cheering for Germany that match, and that still feels too soon. I was cheering for Germany and didn't know if I was celebrating a replay of the second goal or already the third, and that feeling didn't go away until the 5th goal. My mom doesn't know a thing about football and even she felt bad for the team in yellow. I actually said something like, "It's the World Cup, why are they so awful?" I think everyone was wondering that. Halfway through a wedding reception. Lots of booze. Band leader asks crowd to find out which man at their table has the nearest birthday. Okay, accomplished. Then, the band leader says, each guy give the flower centerpiece to the prettiest girl at the table. 11 other guys get it right and give it to their girl. The guy at our table, fairly inebriated, doesn't give it to his wife. He gives it to the prettiest girl at the table. Holy shit. The air got sucked out of the room. The wife is steaming. She looks ready to grab the vase and smash him in the face with it. The other, less pretty girls are fuming. The girl with the flowers has no idea what to do, but her boyfriend wants to kick the husband's ass. The rest of us are either horror-stricken or nervously laughing. We know we are all gonna hear it. The tables nearby have seen/heard most of it, and the whispering spreads. The band starts to play, and the wife takes the opportunity to get louder before storming out. The party was over. He was just doing what he was told. Poor bastard. Did the boyfriend start a rebellion against the royal family soon after? That's an easy one. Thanksgiving dinner, every year. Topic of politics. Edit. Dogmatism is gross, no matter which side it comes from. Please don't take this comment as a pro anyone anything. When Uncle Bobby is a diehard Trumper, but Aunt Margaret is a Clint. Break out the popcorn. When it was announced our community bank was being acquired by Wells Fargo and 85% of people were going to lose their jobs. Edit. The announcement was made during the end of year managers meeting where bonuses, Christmas party festivities, etc. were discussed. No bonuses, no Christmas party. Most people just got severance for the holidays. Lem guess. The exec team who old made the decision to be acquired made out just fine, didn't they? High school. 2001. Everyone was laughing and making jokes about how stupid someone would have to be to accidentally fly a plane into a building. Teacher turned on the TV at the exact moment the second plane flew into the tower on ABC News. Not sure if that counts as being ugly and sour, but definitely changed the mood in the room from joking to "we're going to hell." In their defense, it was considered a freak accident before the second plane, since no one knew what the hell was going on in between both planes. After the second plane, that shit was perfectly clear. So yeah, I can image the mood change. The couple hosting the party got into a fight with each other in front of everyone, so much so that she slapped one side of his face, then expected guests to take sides. It ruined everything. People left. Everybody left. Well, I guess they picked a side after all. The best side, outside. Tell a successful branch that their factory is closing. Michael Scott. Is that you? We were sitting at the adult table eating our Easter brunch in the house of my ultra-religious brother's family. We were all laughing and recalling funny stories about relatives long gone. And after a sudden lapse in the laughter, the room became dead silent when my son at the children's table screamed to his cousin, "There's no proof of God being real." Easter was pretty much over at that point. Dishes were cleared, cleaned, and we sulked out without much eye contact. A good Christian would not become upset at this, because the definition of faith is trust in God without asking for proof. Source: former Catholic. Yes, but it's still obnoxious to start shit about religion when you're a guest in the home of a deeply religious family. Op didn't say who started it, but it's interesting that everyone here is assuming it was the religious group. We were at a birthday party for one of our friends. He was a biker, and he had a bunch of his biker friends over. One of my husband's other friends, not a biker, was drunk and kept touching my butt. I told him not to touch me, or I would drop him. His last time, I walked by, and he slapped my butt really hard. I swung around and punched them in the face. Because it was a narrow walkway, his head hit the wall. I broke his nose, and it cracked his 2 front teeth. Found out later the next day, he had shitty teeth, so it didn't take much to break them. The party went dead. It got really quiet. I yelled at him and told him not to ducking touch me ever again. Of course, my husband was upstairs taking a dump and missed the whole thing. He came downstairs, and I told him we are leaving. All the bikers went over to this guy and started yelling at him about disrespecting other people's women and stuff about ruining a good time. I'm not sure what happened after that, but we left. No one ever hung out with that guy again. His own brother was part of our group of friends and he never invited him anymore. All the bikers went over to this guy and started yelling at him about disrespecting other people's women. So close to being a nice message. I got one. So my fiancé and I were on a cruise almost 2 months ago, and we were watching one of the late night comedy shows. It's one of the adult shows, so cursing, sex talk, etc. was happening. Anyway, the comedian banters about how there are subjects that polarize people, and he hates that subjects that can do that. One subject he listed was politics, but when he said that, he clarified that I will not be voting for Trump, it should be mentioned that this is a middle-aged African American man from the Bronx. Most of the people clap, a few groan, but everyone lets it go pretty quick, except for one woman who mutters just loud enough for him to hear, "He has made your life so much better." The comedian stops the show. He asks the woman, "No, duck the show. What has Trump done for me?" She replies with political stuff. Things are getting heated. She stands up, and they are going at it. One man in the back says to the woman, "Irrelevant." She states how this is not irrelevant. The comedian asks her, "Why do you choose now to start your charity work?" We are all here to laugh and have a good time. She says yeah, and I'm just another white trash bitch aren't I? Aren't I? Well ma'am, you said it, not me. Okay and asterisk yeah. Boom. And 2 butthole puckering seconds later, the crowd erupts in boos against her. She was literally thrown out of the room by the crowd, not the employers. I was actually worried what was about to happen, let alone someone had the bigoted arrogance to drop that. The comedian went on and used that as an example of how politics polarizes people. Cool loop around, but crazy shit. TL. Doctor, woman dropped the N-word during a comedy show due to Trumpgate. Crowd didn't like it.